Hello everyone, welcome to Move Well, Live Well. We get a number of people that come in here with issues regarding their mid-back and chest. Like we've talked about many times before, we just live in a world where we sit way too much. So these people are having issues with their neck, their mid-back, their low back, their entire spine essentially, and even problems with their chest, simply because when they're seated at their desk, they're here like this, and over time they've become like this. They start to sag into their desk and they just kind of hang here for long periods of time. This issue is actually, there's a syndrome it's called postural syndrome, and it's just due to repetitive, prolonged positions in a long periods of time, and then now they're having problems being in this position. They have those problems with their mid-back, their chest starts to tighten up, their neck moves forward, they have tightness in the neck, pain, headaches, the whole bit. Now, what's going on here with this postural syndrome is over time, you fast forward 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and then these folks who started off in their 20s sitting at their desk for long periods of time, now they're 30, they're 40, they're 50, they're 60, they're 70 years old, and then they become permanently like this. And you see it all the time. You can see folks walking around on a day-to-day basis around your town or whatever it may be, at the grocery store or retail store or whatever. You see them walking around at the park or whatever, and they're permanently like this. Well, as we all know, bones change based on the forces applied to them. If you exercise on a regular basis, your bone density will increase. Those astronauts that are out in outer space for long periods of time, their bone density starts to decrease because why? There's no resistance in outer space. So their bone density starts to decrease. So bones will change based on the forces applied to them. So what happens with these folks, over time, their bones, their vertebra, and their spine, they literally they turn into this. So how do you prevent that? How do you fix postural syndrome and also thereby prevent a situation where later on in the future, your vertebra deform and become permanently like this? How do we change that? Well, what you do is you grab your handy dandy foam roller. So take your foam roller, here just like this. You put this down a little bit right here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Right there. Okay, so, and right here where your mid-back meets your low back here, I like to place the foam roller right at that portion where your mid-back meets the low back. And I go ahead and I bridge here. So do a glute bridge. So you're propping yourself up. You're keeping your head relatively neutral. You're going to have a little bit of flexion, but you want to try to keep your neck as neutral as you can. And now you hang out on that part of your vertebra here. A lot of people think, when they foam roll, yes, you can kind of go up and down like this and get like a little bit of a rolling type of massage, which is fine. But for this purpose, what you're trying to do is you're trying to prevent bony changes in your spine over a long period of time. Also, you're trying to facilitate movement within each segment of the vertebra. So you want to be able to hang out, if you will, in that segment for a little while, 30 seconds to a minute. Just kind of oscillate back and forth on that segment. And then you slowly move up. And again, you oscillate back and forth on that segment. I usually tell folks to also open up their chest, right? And sometimes you'll hear pops as you do this. You'll hear clicks as you do this. Open up the chest, because remember, we sit in a rolled shoulder position at the computer, so we want to open that up. Just like that. And you're in here. And you just want to hang, oscillate back and forth on each segment, 30 seconds or so. Back and forth. And you may hear some pops in there. Okay? And eventually you're getting to the point where you're all the way, kind of where your neck meets your shoulder. Right in there. You're in here. So you can start here if you want at the top and work your way down. I'll move my hand like this so you can kind of see what I'm doing. My hand's out like this, you can't see the foam roller. So here, again, you're keeping your neck relatively neutral. You're bridging here. And ideally you have your arms out so it opens up the chest as well. But I'm going to put it like this so you guys can see what I'm doing, what the foam roller is doing. And you're kind of slowly moving down. So you can start where your neck meets your shoulders and work your way down. Or you can start down here, which I like to do. I kind of like to start right here where my mid-back meets my low back and work my way up. So however you want to do it is up to you, your personal preference. So the idea here, let me get Mr. Spine. I want to show you what foam rolling do. So here's you without any skin. This is the back of your head right here. These are your spinous processes on your back. This is your tailbone down here. You have the iliums right here, ischium down here, pubis in the front. So this is the front. This is the front portion. This is the back portion. Now what happens with folks as they develop postural syndrome is over time the vertebra permanently become in this configuration. And you see folks, over time, they become permanently like this, right? So the idea here is to use the foam roller as a preventative tool to keep your spine mobile and healthy in a better position so the vertebra don't deform over time. Okay? So here you are. I'm exaggerating this, by the way. So you're going to lay here like this. And then as this lays here like this, as you lay on these segments and you hang out and oscillate back and forth on each particular segment, the front structures, the structures in the front start to open up. You have the anterior longitudinal ligament. It's a big ligament that spans the entire front of the spine. That helps to open it up like that. And then, as your vertebrae stay mobile in this position, the normal position, you're less likely to develop permanent change where you're like this later on in life. So, use your handy dandy foam roller. You can go and do the massage roll if you want to, because a lot of people think foam roller, you go and you do the massage roll and it feels good on your back, rocking back and forth. But I want you to, since we live in a world where postural syndrome is prevalent, pain in the mid-back, tightness in the chest, pain in the neck, headaches, tension headaches from being in this position for long periods of time, but to use this foam roller as a tool to open up postural syndrome, to fix postural syndrome, end the syndrome, and use it as a tool to where you're in this position here, and you're opening it up, and you're just oscillating back and forth on those individual segments to open up the vertebra, like we demonstrate on Mr. Spine there. To help prevent future deformation of the spine. So, we thank you for watching. We appreciate it. If you have any questions with this video, obviously drop them off in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like. It lets us know you care. And make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you subscribe so that way you don't miss any videos coming here in the near future. And when you hit subscribe, make sure you hear that bell notifications button so you know exactly when the next video comes through. And also, obviously, share this information with others so that way other people can benefit from it. Again, we thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.